Hello and welcome to the Week in Review for Week 3 of DC Superheroes United. I'm Jeff Skinner, and today I'm coming to you live from the top floor of the Hard Rock Hotel in sunny San Diego, California. It is Comic-Con week, and we are only one day into the show, and it's already been a total whirlwind. The convention center is packed. The cosplay has just been amazing. And best of all, so many of you have dropped by our booth to say hello and talk games. I see you in the comments. Thank you to everyone who took the time to stop by. So if you are in town or if you're at the convention, please come on over. It's booth 2446 in Hall C. I'd love to meet you. We'll chat. We'll talk some games. Moving on, we've had our busiest week yet on the campaign. Great add-ons, huge expansions, highly requested characters, and new gameplay modes. We want to deep dive into it all today. So slight spoiler alert here. This show may go a little long. Usually we end the show at about the hour mark, but we want to make sure that we give ourselves enough time to cover everything and answer as many questions as we can, which you can leave over in the comments. Well, all of that and a big reveal. So let's get to it. Joining us once again on the show is our favorite superhero and sidekick team, and I'll let you decide which is which. Thiago and Andrea.
I'll take sidekick role. I'm fine with the sidekicks. No gripe about that. You take the lead.
Hi, everybody.
Hello to both of you. Thank you again, as always, for joining us. I'm happy to see, with all the work you've done, that your arms have not fallen off this week.
No, not yet. I hope they stay on for at least a few more days.
Excellent. Well, I want to make sure, and we talked a little bit before the show, that we get into everything because there were some massive new play modes. We've got some just amazing miniatures to take a look at, and I want to try to cover everything. So if we're all okay with it, we can dive right in.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a big week and about to get bigger. So let's get started.
All right. So first up, let's talk about the team decks.
Well, it has been only a week since we started doing team decks, right? It feels like a month, but yes, team decks are in DC Superheroes United. Andrea, what are these?
Yeah, well, they give you more options when you play with characters that are part of the team. So we try to make them in a way that they would follow the playstyle of the characters involved, or sometimes even covering their weaknesses. But keep in mind, they won't make the game that much easier because each team deck has one negative card that you will be forced to play or suffer negative consequences for the rest of your game. So I think I personally really love team decks so much because they add choices to any game without changing the overall difficulty. It's adds flavors, and sometimes we were able to introduce a little Easter egg, which is also something I love to put in.
I think it just adds more tactical options. Like you just have more choices of how to handle situations where you have your team deck, and just brings more flavor to the game. You can focus on all those special actions. And while each team deck, like, it is tailored to a specific group of heroes, like specifically thematically, and we list which heroes are officially supposed to be in those teams. At the end, it is your game. You can try to do some weird mixes, and it's fine. It's not going to break the game.
And we still have a few heroes missing, right? So
even those decks, some of them might still be bolstered by heroes being added here and there. And we've been adding other team decks as stretch goals, ones that really rely on the exclusive characters. And we've also been adding team decks in some of the expansions, such as, I think, the one we can go on to talk about now, which was the big start of the week.
This was a big one, and I think it checked a lot of boxes for a lot of people. I do want to take a moment to appreciate the cover art. I just love having a King Shark right there up front. I think he deserves a spotlight more than he gets it. But a fantastic artwork.
Yeah, King Shark really kind of steals the show. I think he might be my favorite mini, and I gotta give him his due entrance here. Again, I love the chunky miniatures, and this is a chunky boy. He has his last meal there, lying on the base. I just love the fact that, yeah, he's a dual mode character. He can be played as a hero, and he eats people, and that's good for him. It happens.
I want to see what the painters out there are going to do in terms of painting and then decorating him a little bit with things hanging out of his mouth.
Oh my
You
god!
never go wrong having
extra
more
effects, extra.
I feel like maybe there's some arms that could go in there from the stretch goal.
Mm-hmm. So let's look at what the roster of in this box is.
So first up, we have some purple people.
Yeah, so yeah, this is a first for us. It's an all purple box. People were missing the dual mode characters, so here they are. And yeah, talk about like the whole dual mode thing. It's not a simple matter at all. Like to interacting with the licensor to explain why some characters need to be dual mode, because some characters are seen as villains, but even though they play as heroes here and there, but for this box, we really we knew we had to push this all the way to being a full dual mode character box, because that's their very nature, right? It's bad guys kind of doing good things because they are sent on a mission, but they are still bad guys, or maybe not. Like they are, the conflict is at the center of who they are. So like that had to happen.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect opportunity to do this, to have 6 dual mode heroes in the game, each one unique, both as a villain and as a hero. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, so yeah, we have Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, King Shark, Polka Dot Man, Peacemaker, and Rick Flag there. A very eclectic group of characters. I'm really happy we managed to sneak in Polka Dot Man there, and I'm even happier that so many people really appreciated him there, because he is a hero, and that was an amazing cinematic moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, people. We had to get Eagly there with Peacemaker.
Of course. And he's pointing where he wants Eagly to go. I mean,
he's pointing towards justice and peace.
Of course. So let's move over to the gameplay, because I feel like this is. There were a lot of questions about this, and it was described over on the Gamefound. And I want to get into kind of what this new mode offers and how it's played.
So this is the way where you face all the 6 of them. They're actually trying to do their own mission. They are into a haste mission, and you want to defeat them before they recruit enough tags to help them, before they chase enough civilian, or they solve the 6 parts of their plan. So you will have to find each villain weak spot before you are able to defeat him or her, of course. So it's similar to something we already had before in United, but it's also unique and different because the clock will be ticking faster, and they will still kick you sometimes, but their focus will be to try to go on their mission. So
Yeah,
I think it offers a really unique gameplay.
Yeah, because I think one interesting thing is they really work like as a squad. They have a very, very focused objective, and they're all contributing with their different skills and ways of doing things towards that goal. Amanda Waller is doing something right because she's getting these guys to stay focused on their mission. So they have their mission. They have a specific goal. They're all together trying to achieve, and you need to keep them from doing that. And yes, this is an amazing fight. But no, with all these characters in this mode, and we wanted to they play as villains. I think it's really interesting what the design team managed to come up for their role as villains, not just as in the Suicide Squad mode.
Over in the comments, Daniel Ruiz Gomez asks, is it possible to play Harley Quinn with Joker?
Is it possible to play Harley Quinn with Joker? Not quite. Well, you can play Harley Quinn against Joker, and I think that is a good thing. I think she needs that. That would be very cathartic for her. But
she's an
not
henchman
quite.
in the Joker
gameplay,
after all, so they are playing somehow together.
Yeah, they are often seen together, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's keep
And
it
then
that way.
being, let's see, we'll go to the next setup, which I think looks like a lot of fun. And I can't, like, all of this is in the same box, right?
Absolutely. And we try to do something different and new here. To have the 6 villains combining each other, playing duos on their own. One of them being the main villain and the second acting as his sidekick. And the whole possible combinations are like you are going to face like 30 different combinations of villains and sidekick. And in the tag team, it's always the leading one that will lead the gameplay. So once you experiment, you will find out that it's the main villain that gives really the
flavor
pace of the gameplay, the flavor, and the main has their own plan usually, and the sidekick will help them, but each one in their own different way. Somebody more efficiently, somebody maybe less. So it's really, I think, we wanted, instead of simply giving 6 different villains, giving 30 different combinations was meant to provide with more variety.
And I think it makes sense for these characters because these are more low-level characters, so it makes sense that they will team up to bring a challenge to the heroes. So it's not just new mechanics for new mechanics' sake. I think it's finding the new mechanics where the theme kind of allows for it and asks for it. So I think that's a really neat way of handling it. And yeah, it's interesting how a main villain will end up playing differently depending on which accomplice they have, because how they're going to contribute to their main plot and how they get crisis tokens to fulfill their own thing is going to change. And they each have like their own master plan cards and their own threat cards. They all get mixed together and spread all around the area. So it really changes the whole setting of the thing.
I mean, it just adds so much variety, I feel like. And then in timing wise, I mean, it doesn't feel like it still feels very united. It still feels very, very streamlined, and you're able to add this extra element in.
Yeah, because you're not every turn you're basically doing just one of the villains. Whoever draws a master plan card, they are the ones acting, even though like all the effects are ongoing. But you don't have this overload of having to manage 2 villains at the same time. They're kind of tag teaming back and forth.
And that's all in the box. And while you're doing this, you get to go to new locations that I think offer some really interesting variety.
Yeah. Well, most of those might have like little hindrance to the players, except Sanctuary that will help them to heal.
Yeah, these are bad guys, and these are bad guys, and these are bad places, basically. So I think I really like the theming of it. Like you have Corto Maltese, which is it's a rough place, so like you need to bribe your way in there and try to keep it free of thugs, but then you get a reward. And if you can like keep the place safe, you're rewarded for it. And you have like the penitentiary where it's a very tough place to be around. Like you lose things when you go there, but again, you can it's a give and take relationship where you can get something if you lose something. And going back to what someone is asking about the tag team mode, I think it's a question that is worth answering, because we did reveal afterwards kind of an extra Suicide Squad adjacent character. So I think we can kind of skip around a little bit in Deadshot. So this guy was a stretch goal soon after the Suicide Squad was announced, and yeah, this was our first dual mode stretch goal because he had to be. And again, this is something we had to really fight for to make sure that all these Suicide Squad members were dual mode because that's their nature. But unlike the other ones, he acts as a lone villain. We're not adding it would be a bit too fiddly to have the dual mode villain dashboard, and also it would oblige people to get the expansion to even use him as a villain, and that's not the point. Like, you don't have to get the Suicide Squad expansion to use your stretch goals, although I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but anyway. And he's a Deadshot. That's what he does.
So let's go in a little bit for the crowdfunding exclusive to this box. If you order it on the Gamefound, you will.
Well, no, because actually the whole box is exclusive. So this is
the whole box on
to the whole box exclusive. That's it. Get it now, or you're gonna miss it. And if you really want to taste it, you better get it on the campaign. That's what I advise. But moving on, so yeah, continuing with the add-ons, we revealed our cardboard stuffs. No, go back. No, go back to the cardboard stuff just to.
Sorry.
Explain. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so that's just some bling. For those who want a more sturdy surface, we offer all the locations and all the villain dashboards as cardboard. You don't need to have it to get it, but some people like it, so we offer it. I like it. I think it makes for a nice presentation, makes the game feel a bit more, I don't know, premium, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that's that.
All right, so then we will go to the next add-on.
The Sidekicks. Yeah, this was one where we had a lot of fun with that one, trying some new stuff.
The Sidekicks, it seemed to be an enormously exciting thing. I love the reaction to it when the early ones first started coming out. So let's take a look at these because I just love these miniatures.
Yeah. We struggled a lot in thinking like who would be a nice fit for this, because there are many super pets in the DC universe, but we wanted to make it like not really a pets expansion but a sidekicks expansion, and so focus on some like very varied and interesting characters. And it was basically a way to get some extra characters into the campaign, really. And this kind of answers one of the questions people are asking, like, oh, why isn't Detective Chimp a hero, or Dexter a hero? Like any of these, they could potentially be a hero, but this is how we managed to add them in as well, because like we can't just keep adding more heroes and adding more villains. So the fact that we had the sidekick box and we needed some extra characters for it allowed us to bring them in as what they are, a sidekick. So like it is a role where they fit. And yeah, while they could also be heroes, we have other heroes. Not everybody needs to be a hero. And they basically, because like their cards are in your deck and you're playing with them, they're moving around, it's almost a hero.
They might even see more gameplay at the table this way, because you can add them to any hero deck. So you will see them in play more often, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, who knows what future holds, no? So
yeah, of course. When you compare, Crypto is a hero. Why is Ace not a hero?
Yeah.
Like, of course, okay.
I get it.
But Ace is a dog. He's a very cool and smart dog, but he's a dog. Crypto is an alien. He's at a different level of heroics and such. So I think it makes sense. And again, you still can have all of them teaming up together. And so explain a little bit what do sidekicks do? Because for those who don't know, Andrea.
So you add the cards to the hero you're playing with, and you have the sidekick miniature in play. So it opens new powers and possibilities. So you can like coordinate play between your hero and the sidekick, basically. So it will give also like more stamina to the heroes because you have more cards in your deck, but that's is not going to fundamentally change anything in the level of challenge you're going to face. Whenever possible, we try to include like specific way for them to work together with heroes they usually work together. Like, of course, Chip will be great in play with other lanterns and stuff like that. And Ace is great if played with Batman and Robin.
Speaking of Ace, I need to showcase his miniature here.
Oh,
He has a little Batarang Chew toy there on the ground, looking all heroic and posy.
So I think it's safe to say we can now officially confirm that in DC Superheroes United, you can pet the dog.
Yes, you can officially
Excellent.
pet a couple dogs. Actually, I was already petting one before. So, and here's Chip in all his glory. Of course, whenever we do these like small characters, and he had to be small because that's what he is. We try to elevate them in terms of the base. So having the clear green energy base really complements him and makes for a nice display for the little lantern. And but I think one of the things I was very excited when we started talking about this box is like we were thinking about, like, because we already had all the whole support character thing, and then we kind of think, oh, but like we're doing the sidekicks thing, so couldn't we kind of combine the two? Because we have those characters. So one thing that kind of grew as we were developing this was the next slide, which is bringing a bunch of extra characters to be sidekicks instead of just support characters. So if you have those characters from other expansions, from the Gotham City, from the Metropolis expansion, from Teen Titans and stretch goals, you can have even more sidekicks added to your decks, and that's where it comes. It's not just about pets; it's just people helping you and lending a hand.
And with these cards, like you said, if depending on which expansions people have, but you do use these with the miniatures, so that'll be out on the board.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be on the board. You will be moving them, positioning them strategically to make the best use of their special effects. They have their 3 cards. Of course, when you're using them as sidekicks, you can't use them as supports as well, because that would be a bit conflicting. But they do some things similar to what they do as support, but they become even more active, and it can be used in a more precise way. And of course, you still have Alfred supplying people with tokens, and Commissioner Gordon being more of a policeman and all that.
Yeah, it's like you have when you play with them as support, they are designed to act a bit more independently, while where you play them inside your hero deck, you have more control over their actions. And I think people might want to try both ways of playing. I think it can fit different player tastes, and it's a great opportunity to use the same miniatures into totally different ways. Yeah, we always try to provide more value.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to imagine a game like you can really crowd a game if you want. Like you have 4 heroes, each of them takes a sidekick, and you can also add up to 2 support characters.
Yes,
right?
up to 2.
So those locations can get quite crowded if you want.
Yeah, maybe a Trigon challenge.
Yeah, just throw everything in the kitchen sink. Yeah,
play that in addition to the Suicide Squad box, and it has as many villains
against 6 villains. Perfect.
Yes.
Throw a challenge in.
Pure chaos.
My Lord.
But it's a good segue, because we get to the next add-on, which takes the chaos and makes it a little more refined and neat.
Right, plastic tokens. So this is an upgrade that people were expecting, and we're pleased to supply them with that. We tried our best to really cater to our fan base, because of course we know many people already have United plastic tokens. So we divided them into 2 packs, one that has all the core box tokens and one that has all the extra stuff. So if you have previous United tokens, like you don't need the core box tokens, you only need the extras. The only thing that we had to navigate, which was a very tricky thing, and it is a very tricky thing, is the Joker token, because that's the only kind of different token in the core box. And it's really like the Joker is a pain in the neck.
He's the Joker.
He's the Joker.
Plays jokes.
He's hard to deal with because the Joker token is the Joker on one side and the Thug on the other. And for it to work, it needs to blend seamlessly with the other thugs. And there are like 42 Thug tokens. Mm-hmm. So the problem is, if we included the Joker token as a plastic in the extras set, it will not match with your existing Thug tokens because it's a different print, different mold, different time. Like there are going to be differences. It's going to be noticeable. So having a plastic token there would be useless because you couldn't use it. It would just ruin the game. So after much thinking, the only solution we were able to arrive at is include the Joker token in the core box for those who the core tokens for those who want to get that. So it's in the same sprue as the Thug tokens to guarantee that the printing will be the same. But for people just getting the extra tokens, we're going to supply a little sticker sheet with 4 tokens. You only need one, just 4 so we have some extras in any case. So you take one of your Thug tokens, put the Joker on the back, and now that will work seamlessly for those games where you play against the Joker. That's what we managed to arrive at.
That is very on brand for the Joker to ensure as much hardship for all of you as possible.
Yeah, classic Joker.
Classic Joker.
Right.
So do we have time to take a look at a couple of the stretch goals from this week?
We better, because I want to talk about them.
Okay, good, because I do too. There are, I think, my new favorite, and I think everyone knows who that is by now, but I am happy to let you lead me. Which one do you want to go over?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start like last week. I need to start with the interesting one that caused quite a bit of a stir. The ever popular arm fall off boy.
Oh, that is my favorite. So I appreciate you starting with the best one.
Yeah. So I remember when Andrea came to me and said, "Oh, you know who we should do? Splitter." And I said, "Who is Splitter?" I said, "Oh, it's this guy. He's awesome. He uses his arms as weapons." And I said, "Oh, it's like the detachable kid from the Suicide Squad movie." Then I went to do some research, and okay. So the TDK is just from the movies, and there's this Splitter guy, but there was also Arm Fall Off Boy, like different versions, and it's very DC's Z level character. But okay, that's the like. Of course, I saw the potential in how fun the concept of a guy who uses his arms as weapons is. And of course, the first thing I said is, yeah, but then the mini will need to have actual detachable arms and do something with that, right? Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, okay, so let me talk to the factory. Let's see if we can make this work. You work on a design, and we'll meet somewhere and see if this happens. And I'm glad to say that, yeah, we made him happen. Like he's not the hero you need. He's the one we deserve, or vice versa. And this is actually so this is actually a resin. So this was for us to actually test how it works. So of course, this is a resin, so it doesn't have the elasticity of the plastic to get a nice fit. But you can see him in all his arm detachable action. And the fun kind of side effect of this is actually our first kind of posable miniature we have. So you can do like some special action-y poses and fun guy. And mechanically, I really love the fact that he can drop an arm and explain how he does. That's your part.
There were 2 reasons for me to pushing to do it. One was, of course, an homage to Nathan Fillion, and the second was to have detachable arms used in gameplay. So he really leaves arms, throws them to the adjacent location, and does actions through those. And he can come back and collect the arms again.
It's really, himself.
It's so fun playing with him, or just watching the playtester playing with him. It's great, and we don't even have. We took a real miniature and we cut the arms to that miniature. It's less fun.
Harsh,
but I think it was worth it just to make. Heroes and villains in this game make more sense when the more unique they are. Mm-hmm. They are more interesting the more we are able to turn them into unique. So yes, sometimes I push for DC or I mean, for low-level characters. But usually when I do that is because I see a potential in the gameplay. Even it might be they might be villains or heroes, but I think it's better to provide you guys with something that is interesting to play with or against, instead of just okay. This guy works as any other.
Yeah, because the thing we need to balance, because we're not making a collection of characters here. We're making a game.
Yeah.
Games are supposed to be fun. That's the whole point. So of course, while we are going to hit, we need to hit such a certain characters, all the big names. We also need to make a game that is varied and fun and for all ages and all that. So I think we need to mix the silly with the serious. Like if you want a serious character, come on, you have the question. He doesn't smile at all. He doesn't even have a mouth. Like what else do you need?
Very serious. Well, that's just it. DC itself as a universe has, the characters like that. Then on Fall Out Boy, they cover the spectrum, and I love that you're able to dive into these different eras and different types of DC comics, so you can play, fun, silly games, or dead serious games with Batman and Superman fighting each other.
Yeah, we have dark characters like Swamp Thing, and we have some more lighthearted stuff. Yeah, I love how he's kind of sinking in the swamp there.
Mm-hmm.
And and we had a lot of fun with all the details, like all the leaves and vines and all the green pervading him.
He's been one of my favorites since the Wes Craven movie. I always love the Swamp Thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things we had this week in terms of mini and mechanically, especially, like Cyborg Superman really brought a lot to the table. I think people were really excited to see, like, he has his whole Superman Revenge Squad, some killer henchmen.
Mm-hmm.
He really brings a lot.
And that's really an interesting fight.
Yeah, because his whole thing, he's trying to get the Oblivion Stone, and his dynamic is very interesting because he really uses his henchmen. So the henchman try to get the stone, and when the henchman gets the stone, he goes to the henchman, and then he needs to get the stone from the henchman. And so the heroes are trying to kind of stop that process somewhere along the way to keep him from finally getting his hands on the Oblivion Stone. So it's a very different dynamic because it's not a fight. It's trying to thwart a very specific sequence of events that the villain is trying to make happen. And it's not just kicking stuff. Speaking of kicking stuff, he kicks stuff.
Ruthlessly.
Yeah, if you want to go to war, like, my God, this is an impressive figure. And you can see, like, you have all the fallen warrior weaponry there on the base, and wonderful cape.
Yeah,
nice, great. Classic villain pose. This is Ares, by the way, in case you don't know.
Yeah, and in case you're wondering, I read like question like, oh, but does he only has 2 threats? Yes. Deimos and Phobos, and it doesn't really need any more threats to be there.
Yes, because they're moving around, they're coming back, they're doing a lot of stuff for him. And this was another favorite of the week, Zatanna. I love this mini.
I love that she's pulling that thing out of her hat.
Yeah, this is also very interesting how it comes about, because I think we had the original artwork, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how it went. Like, the original one had like birds flying out of her head. Mm-hmm. But then, and that's some occasions where I will go to the artist and go, like, if we have birds flying out, like, how am I gonna, like, I'm gonna have to do a real weird thing with like birds connecting to plastic, and it will be very dainty and all. Like, can we do something else, something a bit more solid and compact? And then they came up, okay, how about this tentacle coming out? I said, okay, that's fun. And this ended up informing how we would hold up this pose. So basically, from the fact that she had a tentacle coming out of her head, I kind of imagine, so maybe like for us to support this very active pose. We can have like a tentacle coming out of a magic book on the ground and holding her leg and keeping her up. So yeah, you have the stage here, there, and a magic book, and some spell. Either it's going very wrong or very right. I don't know.
Yeah. I was tempted for a second to write all the effects on her special cards backwards,
Well,
but
almost
no,
all
then
of
I
them
said
are.
just for the names.
You wanted to write the actual description of the
Yeah.
effects?
Yeah, I wanted to. I tried that, but I mean, playtesters were a bit confused. So I said, okay, no, let's go for just the name.
Yeah, 'cause I remember someone was suggesting when we did the effects for Etrigan, they should all rhyme, like all the mechanics descriptions should all rhyme. It's like that's going to be challenging. So, but yeah, writing everything in reverse. I have such a hard time reading even those titles in reverse, because it's not the whole sentence. It's each word. So you need to kind of flip each word. It's very, very, very weird. And so, okay, just to wrap up who we are chasing right now, and we are almost catching up to Reverse Flash.
Much requested.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to see him come up. Full disclosure, I don't like to, myself personally, I don't look at the plan ahead of time because I like to be surprised by our campaigns as well. So having the Reverse Flash show up made my day. It's I think my number 2 internal request.
Yeah, it's a very unique fight. I think he going in reverse, messing with the time, and the fact that if you really want to defeat him, like you have to defeat him, and he'll keep coming back, and you have to defeat him again, and he'll learn something from the last time, and it's a whole campaign, of one villain.
Yeah, it's like we always try to bring something new to the table. Here the challenge was, okay, but he will be doing the same things because the dashboard is the same and the cards are the same. So we had to include like modifiers from one game to the other, so that yes, it's doing more or less the same things, but in a different enough way, and the level of challenge will be rising up from game to game. So yeah, you might beat him quite easily on your first game, but the third one is where the real deal is. So
Well, Thiago pulled his. Oh, go ahead, Andrea.
No, it's just I'm just happy and proud of how much we've been able to bring uniqueness to the playing table, because that's my goal when we start designing a huge project like this one. Is I want each hero to be as different as possible, each villain to be a unique experience, interesting enough as possible, so that you don't feel that you are always playing the same game, but you are playing a different game every time. And that was the goal.
It's definitely succeeded from what I've seen, just the sheer variety that's out there. But I do see Thiago pulling out his coin for some reason.
I always have it.
He's got it in his hands. I feel like you want to flip it.
For what?
For if we should reveal something or not.
I think it's time.
I think it might be time. What are we going to get?
It's here.
Wow. And the reactions are fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot going on there.
Okay, so now
we knew you expected this, but maybe not this way.
Yeah, so it's not a surprise that these guys are here finally, but we have a lot of surprises here. And some people were talking about, oh, do you think they'll do like a double reveal today and all that? Because where's all this content going to come from? So it's not a double reveal, but this box is so
close.
crammed with stuff that it might as well be a double reveal. Like, if I'm honest, we overdid it. Like this is too much. It shouldn't be like this. It just happened. It got out of control. It's crazy. It's an asylum. I cannot.
I remember
I
the
cannot,
conversation because I was writing to Thiago like every week that Thiago, can we add this to Arkham Asylum? And he was saying, oh, but there is already a lot of stuff. Oh yes, but this is so cool. Let's add it. Okay, let's add it.
yeah. The rule of cool really wins out here. Because yeah, it's cool. Okay, fine. Yeah, but what about this? Yeah, fine. Let's do it. And so we just kept going, and even this turned into a beast, and it's time to unveil all that is in it and all its goodies.
I'd like to, because this is absolutely a packed box on many different levels, from characters to gameplay, et cetera, et cetera. So I would love to go through it step by step, if you don't mind.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about.
All right, great. First up, actually, let's appreciate the cover very quickly. Arkham Asylum, one of the most famous locations in all of DC Universe. Great, video games after it. There's been amazing stories set there. Some of the most famous graphic novels, and I think this is a super fun interpretation. I think of the villains that are in this box. Behind, literally within the gates of Arkham.
And the Bat just going there looking for on a mission. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a very moody thing as it has to be, and yeah, it's very original. It's different from any other box we've ever done, like Giton has been doing for this whole project. So yeah, I love it, and I love what's inside it.
Each one of these, it's just telling a story. This cover. So let's go straight to one of the main attractions.
Villains. Yeah, our crazy villains. So they're all here. All your favorites. We have Poison Ivy. We have Killer Croc. We have the Riddler. We have Scarecrow, the Penguin, and Two-Face. He's finally there. Poison Ivy. Oh my God.
So maybe we might start from Two-Face, and as you can expect, the coin you've seen around, it's going to be used in his gameplay.
Yeah, it's going to get so. And I think we don't even have to dive into each of how they play yet. Let's just enjoy them a bit, because we have to pace ourselves here. There's a lot to go over. So okay, these minis. Pick your favorites, and I need to showcase them. I'm going to start with my favorite, and I'm going to focus on Poison Ivy, because I really love what Giton did, because she's it almost feels like one of those kind of saint images with the vines kind of giving a halo, and she's being elevated by her prickly thorns. It's a very nice and different way of handling a figure. It's just cute. Andrea, who do you choose?
Scarecrow is so cool.
Yeah, Scarecrow again, a very funky miniature. Like his proportions are all weird. He's in a field there, as a Scarecrow should be, and yeah, he looks properly wicked and frightful, and he has the noose on his neck, very distorted and odd. Jeff, who's your choice?
I'm a penguin guy.
You're a penguin guy. Okay, classic, stylish, elegant. Little copper pot there on his little ice base, with his faithful umbrella. And because he's a stocky character, you wanted to raise him a little bit so he isn't dwarfed by the other ones. So he still look nice and imposing, and a prodigious nose, as he should. And I think actually my second favorite is actually the Riddler. Mm-hmm. For aesthetic pose, he's very dynamic with his cane. It just has all his style. And even you have his base there, just missing one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, he could be about to swing his staff, or he could be about to ask you a question. You don't know which.
Exactly. And he has his little Riddler box with something coming out of it. And so he doesn't chomp us out. We have Killer Croc. Nice, big, chunky.
Look at the tail.
Walking in the sewers. Nice, big tail. Sewer base, scaly, big fangs, big claws. And we have Arthur Dent with his coin. Of course, if you paint him, I think it will highlight even better his two-faced nature, but he does have one very scarred and chomped up face, and one nice looking one. Even the base, you have the courthouse there, and half of it is smashed, half of it is intact. And these are our bad guys.
Those are just bad guys, and I think I want to get into how they play in a little bit because I'm super interested in the next set of miniatures that are included in this box.
Yeah, because for some reason we weren't satisfied with just having the 6 of the most famous bad guys in the world. We also had to have some heroes.
Yes, you all chose some incredible heroes, and these sculpts are, I mean, they're just fantastic.
Did I say Arthur Dent for Two-Face?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm actually okay with that because I think that only gives him more credibility. That's a fine mistake to make.
You didn't have a towel, but that's okay.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of bats. And
let's go over the bats.
Yeah, we have the biggest bat of all. Of course, since we wanted to have heroes fighting these villains in this box, it made sense to have another variation of Batman here, and given the caliber of these villains, having the armored Batman, chunky, do you bleed kind of Batman made sense. And so there he is, like stomping on the Arkham sign.
Oh man.
And I really love Guiton's interpretation of him. Like, again, chunky miniatures, gotta love him. And if you are averse to capes, you're not gonna like this because we have capes aplenty.
And they're just, I mean, it looks like he is moving forward at a fast rate. The cape is just flying behind him.
Yeah, he's moving with purpose. He's a man on a mission, and nothing will stop him. And then we have our second Robin. And yes,
much requested Damian.
Yeah, this is Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's and Talia al Ghul's son. So a nice, again, very dynamic, standing there on the top of maybe Wayne Manor or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these bad people, they love climbing on top of things and posing heroically. As does
would you be a superhero if not just to pose in awesome ways?
Yeah, as does Cassandra Cain, our Batgirl. Again, standing on the top of some tower with a glorious cape. And yeah, I think this is one of the coolest costumes with the whole full face mask. Even from behind, look at that.
It looks great. You have very good lighting. You can see all the details.
Yeah. And finally, we have Spoiler. Again, running on the vapors from the street. The smoke coming from the Gotham sewers. We got spoilers in this box. Again, lovely cape action.
Oh, they're all in motion. I want to see all 4 of them together on my table running toward the same location.
So, but the weird thing is, all this is it's not the coolest thing this box has to offer, because it's time to start diving into it.
I was about to say, I mean, this is Arkham Asylum, and I know that, but I imagine there's not a special gameplay mode, right? Oh wait, no. Okay, let's find out. Let's dive in and talk about how Arkham Asylum works.
So we really cooked something special here. you can play the villains. You can play a team of villains as fugitives. You're trying to escape. So the back of the locations in this box have the blueprints for several places around Arkham Asylum, and you have a plan and you want to escape. But there will be one hero there hunting you and trying to stop you from fulfilling your plan. So you have special decks, which of course have no heroic actions, but they have evilish
Villainous actions.
actions, villainous
Villainous.
actions. Yeah, and you can use those to incite riots in different places around Arkham. So to distract the hero and create a ruse and really shape part of your plan to escape. You will need all to escape to win the game. So it's, I mean, you will recognize it's still United. You still play in a storyline, but it's totally different. It's totally unique. And you get to play as the most lovely and loved and infamous Batman villains.
Yeah, so this is very interesting because like these villains are very beloved and very colorful and very special, but they are villains. So the only way we were able to like really allow people to play as them, because that's something I think we felt people would enjoy, is to, okay, you're still playing as villains, you're still doing the villain thing, but it's the villains trying to escape, trying to break out of Arkham Asylum. So this kind of pulled this whole new mode where you have an antagonist, not a villain, in a hero. There we have Batman there trying to keep you locked up. And yeah, it really brings it's a whole. It is a kind of a different game using all the same basic engine, but the dynamics are very different. Like you see the locations, they don't have threats on them because basically you're running around trying to incite riots by moving the thugs, which are the prisoners, to specific slots. And once you have a riot going on there, then you can use the special effect of the location to do some stuff. Each location, you have the medical ward, and you have the high security block, and you have all these, like the psychiatry ward, all the different parts of the asylum. They each do different things, and you're trying to incite riots over them to get the benefits from it. And also, one very important thing is, for you to win the game, you need to escape. For you to explain, for you to escape, you got to have a breakout plan. So each fugitive has a different breakout plan that they need to fulfill in order to move closer to the exit. So maybe you need to like fake an illness. So this means like you need to go to the medical ward, and while the antagonist is in a specific place, you have to do a specific thing. So you have a specific set of instructions, something you need to accomplish in a specific time. You need to position things in a specific way so you can fulfill your breakout plan. And once you do that, you can move on to the next breakout plan and next breakout plan. So each of the fugitives is trying to fulfill all these things. You have to coordinate. Like someone needs to go all the way across the board, distract the antagonist, while like I go here and I create this riot, and this will fulfill my part of the breakout plan. So it's all these specific tasks until you fulfill them all, and then you can all like go to the cell block and escape through there. And once everybody's escaped, then you've won. And meanwhile, you have the antagonist there who has their own missions. So basically, the villain, the antagonist, is trying to rescue the citizens, who are the Arkham workers, trying to rescue them and lock down the prisoners and knock out the fugitives. And of course, and you can attack the antagonist from the very beginning. You cannot defeat them. You can just knock them out, so they are delayed a little bit. But the antagonist will keep coming. So yeah, there's a lot to this. Like this is almost a whole new game in the United system, which also I do need to give a heads up. Like this is we couldn't possibly expand this to the whole breadth of the United line. So this is contained to these characters. Like they can play in this Arkham mode. It's not something that just flips the whole game on its head. But this requires like specific components and everything, so it works. So it's not just because we didn't want to do this watered down. We wanted to do this specifically and tailored and to really bring all the characters to life in this way.
It's basically a second game you're getting with this expansion. It's different. It has a different dynamic. It shares most of the engine. It shares most of the rules, but it's different. And so the fugitive decks are not proper hero decks because they have different actions. And well, of course, each of the 6 villains in this box can be faced as seen as their own
Normal villains, yeah.
individual villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
that
So,
is that is like it's so the baseline that we haven't mentioned it. But yes, of course,
we'll get to
they
the
are
basics. We'll get to and so in a sense, people have been asking for about making dual mode. Like these are essentially dual mode because they can be played as villains and as fugitives. So it's a different kind of dual mode. But I think we can let's go to these fugitive decks.
I want to ask you a question. So when you're playing, just say you're going up against Poison Ivy alone and you're the heroes, that can be set in Arkham Asylum as well.
Yeah, sure.
Well, not using those styles.
In the other side of the locations, which are not pieces of Arkham Asylum, but one of the 6 locations is Arkham, but you are actually playing in Gotham.
Excellent. Well, I would love to take just a closer look at some of the decks.
Yes. Again, those are kind of like hero decks. They are a bit small. It's 10 cards. Like they don't have like the double wild thing. Like all the cards have specific things, bringing all the fugitives specifics and all that. Andrea, what do you have to say about these decks?
I mean, you can already see we have this little new icon for villain's actions. You can see Two-Face using its coin on both sides, and the penguin with the signature umbrellas. Of course, if you need muscle, you call Killer Croc into your escape plan. I think again it was a challenge because you need again to transfer what are the uniqueness of those characters in the way they are villains and not heroes. So they try to escape, they try to do bad things. They might not always be that helpful to each other, but each one of them has its own specific powers and using the plan. So it's like, Killer Croc, you go, you KO Batman, so he's delayed, and now the Riddler can stun him, or Scarecrow can move the guards away. And I think it's a great rendition of how they can work together and at the same time using their own each identity through the deck. And I mean, it's up to you to discover the rest when you get the thing to play. It's difficult to explain without having played this mode because it's similar but so different. So
well, finally we can reveal that yes, the Two-Face coin is used there for Two-Face. So yeah, a lot of his cards, even though you control him, a lot of times you have to flip the coin to see what allows to do. So you flip a coin and he attacks. You flip a coin and he does a villainous action. And there are other decisions that are not up to you and are left up to chance in terms of what he does, both as a fugitive and as a villain as well.
So much going on with the villains here with this new mode, but I do want to flip to the other huge reversal that has never really been done before in the United system, and that is the antagonist. The idea of the antagonist.
Right. And yeah, because so in theory, like we had Batman as the antagonist, but of course, because we wanted to supply as much variety as possible for this mode within this box, we are adding a couple extra antagonist components. So you can go against Batman, or you can go against Superman or the Flash, and they each do the antagonist thing in a very, very different way.
And it's really mirroring the gameplay when you play against the villain in regular United. Here, the antagonist will really shape the way you need to conduct your play. Like, you want to slow down and deceive Batman, while Superman will just come at you and trying to KO you and easily save civilians. So you really need to stay out of his way. The Flash is so quickly moving around that it's hard to find the right time to do things when you're supposed to do them when the antagonist is away. So they really play very, very differently. and you will have to plan differently according to the antagonist you are facing.
Yeah, because Batman, like he's there to hurt people. Like he's in his full I am vengeance mode. So he's a powerhouse. He's coming in there to make those villains pay for their crimes. And meanwhile, Superman, he's more the heroic goody two shoes. So he's more focused on rescuing the civilians and doing the right thing. So even though like he could deal with these villains much more easily, he's distracted by all the villainy that they're doing. So that's how you get away with running away from Superman in the Arkham Asylum. And meanwhile, the Flash.
Yeah, if you want an extra challenge, you can bring in any other hero as an additional sidekick or helper for the antagonist. So
yeah, we have a co-antagonist challenge where you can like you have any other hero there to kind of help out, like kind of holding back some of the fugitives and like being more of a hindrance to their progress while the main antagonist does his thing. Yeah, again, one of those things that wouldn't it be cool to do this? Yeah, chuck it in.
So I think we can take a look a little bit, look at some of the decks.
Yeah, so going back to the normal game. So this is going back to normal United, DC Superheroes United. These are heroes. Remember, heroes playing as heroes, doing the hero thing. So yeah, we have 4 heroes, and because they're bad people, they are decked out with equipment as well. They're all doing their fun stuff.
So I mean, is the Batman you want to use when things are tough? And I mean, Spoiler and Batgirl, they play a little bit together. They have a little help. Also, Batgirl has a nice range of equipment. Same goes with Damian. I mean, when you play with the Bat family, of course, equipments and the right choices are going to be essential to your game plan. But each one of them has its own different approach to things, I would say.
Yeah, and of course, the Batman armored, he is tough. He has like a couple ways to avoid damage and use and the armor is not just resistance; it's also like a mechanized armor, so it gives him actions and stuff. He can choose how to use it. Damian is very he combines like the smarts, all the training from his father and the assassin training from his mother. So he has this dual sides to him. Spoiler, she's very kind of sneaky and investigative. Batgirl, again, a very good fighter and also sneaky as well. I love the smoke palettes where she can kind of protect a location, saving everybody from damage. Lots of cool things. I love the artworks in these as well, kind of playing with some iconic poses.
Yeah, I recognize. I mean, definitely some homages to comic covers, some very famous ones.
Yeah,
that's good. Next up,
not only
you get antagonists, you get the deck cards for the villains, villain decks, but we also get to play each individually as a villain. Before, I guess this would be before they got thrown into Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, or after they escaped. So you could do this. You play a breakout mode, and then if you escape, then now the villain is out there. You have to fight him as a villain. So
in between stays in Arkham, you get to take him down.
Exactly, and it's kind of infuriating because I think we could do a whole live stream just talking about these 6 as villains, but we can't explore this in that much depth. But you can glimpse there a few very interesting things. Just on this image alone.
Very quickly, if you want to defeat Poison Ivy, she has control Superman, which is our first henchman. 8 H point. You can try to make him regain control of himself with a lot of heroic spend in the same turn. And I mean, it's going to be hard to put Poison Ivy back into Arkham Asylum once again, because she's very, very able to easily escape. And the Riddler, oh my god, I wanted to implement riddles in his gameplay so hard. That is one of the villains I think I made more iterations of in the whole history of United, because it's so hard to make it something like you have to guess the riddle compatible with the gameplay and with the structure and the engine of United. But at the end, we were able to do it. So I'm really proud that we have little riddles for you to somehow solve through the clues that are in the threads.
Yeah. So going a little bit into it, yeah, you have several riddles you need to solve, and to solve them, you have to go to the different locations. The threats have like the clues, which are letters. So you need to like build the letters to find the answer to the riddle that you're trying to fulfill. Once you complete the riddle, you get some bonus, you move on to the next riddle. And so you need to like solve all those riddles before you can get to the Riddler and take him out. And yeah, talk about Poison Ivy. Yes. Control Superman is a beast, and even without that, like she has all her pheromone controls to keep the heroes away from her. She's very slippery, very hard for you to get to her. And she has a good bodyguard there. You have Two-Face, who, of course, uses the coin a lot. Like his BAM uses the coin, Overflows uses the coin, so you never know what's going to happen. His Master Plan cards use the coin, and he's influencing people and being very chaotic, as he should be.
Scarecrow, as you can imagine, fear toxin, and it's really hard to go against him, because if you're scared, you cannot punch him. You cannot even punch tags. It's going to be good to have some antidote ready, I guess. And the Penguin, he has this whole range of special umbrella doing crazy stuff, and he has its own plan he wants to fulfill. And Killer is also interesting, because he will use tags and hideouts. He is running in the sewer hideouts threats, creating them again when he's under pressure, and at the same time using the tags as a weapon against the heroes. I think they are, again, I mean, we could be talking for hours, but I think we're already like past the time.
Yeah, so 6 very colorful villains, and that's it. No, that's not it. We still have a lot to have a lot to go over still.
There's more. Feel like, oh wait, yes, even more locations.
Yes, but before that, I need to make a clarification on the Riddler, if I may. Yes, it's totally replayable, because I mean, you already know kind of the answer to the riddle is written in the card that will be face up, but you have to go and collect the clues around to solve the riddle. So it's a bit meta. You don't really have to solve the riddle. That was one of the first iteration, but then I thought, okay, then we need a deck of 80 riddles inside the box, and at that point, Thiago said,
there's a limit somewhere. And also, just to clarify on Two-Face, because there is a cardboard coin in the expansion, but if you follow the campaign, you will get a metal version, and if you miss that, don't forget to add it as an add-on, because it's just fun and cool to use that as to flip. And we have awesome locations as well.
Locations.
Oh.
This is a deep dive into Gotham. I can't wait to mix all the Gotham locations that have been available for the whole campaign together, and play them randomly, because you're just exploring so much of the city.
So interesting. I mean, the Ace Chemical will use the coin, so you can use the coin even in games where you don't have to face.
The location uses the coin.
The location.
It may be a good thing or a bad thing. You can gain some tokens, or you can lose a card, depending on the coin flip. Arkham Asylum, those thugs over there, they are very dangerous, so they're going to mess you up. You have the Gotham Police Department, which they can help you if you have some people there to help you out. So keeping civilians safe there is useful for you. What else we have? I love the Gotham City Cemetery. It's a very kind of a dark mechanic, because basically you can go there, and while someone is KO'd, if you go there, you can pay your respects and you get action tokens according to how many people are currently KO'd. So you thought they were dead. I guess they weren't, but still you gain something.
Yeah, and you have the zoo where civilians and thugs can escape from because of the wild beast running rampage, and the sewers, which are really interesting because you can place the tunnels to distant locations. So basically, they become adjacent to a location that usually are more far away. So even if you have heroes with not such great mobility and you need to be somewhere, you can use like the shortcut through the sewers, but they also overflow quite
With thugs.
easily. So there is a downside there.
Yeah, it's crawling with thugs, and yeah, so we have some sewer tokens you can place far away, and it creates a direct connection between those locations and the Gotham sewers through the tunnel. So it changes how the heroes are able to move around the locations when you have the sewers. I think this is all for the box, right?
So let's
Maybe.
we don't need to do a recap, but I am curious. So everything we've seen so far in this box, that is going to retail, right?
This is all going to retail, yes. And one kind of weird caveat on this is when this box goes to retail, it will be another core box, not the retail exclusive core box, but we are also making this a core box for retail.
So it'll have all the components needed to play. People can just get this box at retail.
Exactly. So because as you can see, like it has heroes and villains and everything. It has enough contents to be a core box. So we're gonna add like the mission guide and the tokens to make it a core box. However, for our backers, it makes no sense to make it a core box because you already have the basic core box.
Mm-hmm.
You are getting it. So the exclusive version for the backers won't have the redundant core box components, instead having some exclusive content just for them.
Wait, so there's even more to this box for backers.
There's more, and the thing is, and the more is more, and that's the thing, because we'll get to it. So who are the exclusives in this box?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
What? Go.
We have more villains, more awesome villains. We have Man-Bat and Mr. Freeze as exclusive villains. And of course, because it's this box, they're not just villains, they are also fugitives with a fugitive deck. So everything we add just compounds on the behemoth that is this box. And
we have
okay,
2 villains, 2 more fugitives, each one with their own plan. As you can expect, Mr. Freeze will be freezing heroes on one side or trying to freeze the antagonist when he's escaping. And I think the miniature is so cool. Is that a transparent helmet, Thiago?
So the miniature is freaking awesome, and yeah, so it has like clear eyes on his base and a clear helmet. We have the technology, we can build him, and I have here an actual resin prototype.
Oh, you have look at that.
So
Congratulations on getting that done. That's amazing.
The helmet in action. So you can paint him nice and bluish and pale, and then just snap that dome on. And my goodness, I think this, again, it's a tough fight for best miniature, but my God, Mr. Freeze is making a good effort. And not to be outdone, although he doesn't have a dome, we have Man-Bat just jumping out of a roof, wings spread very wide. And this box has been a challenge to design the tray for this. Can you imagine, like trying fitting all these capes and wings and if you didn't lose count, that's 12 miniatures in the box. That's we've never done this. It's
12 miniatures plus so many new modes of gameplay. That must be it. That must be all that's in the box.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
Because it's not. Don't call yet, because there's even more. We have some more exclusive content, because we've just heard all the yelling here on the comment section.
Yeah.
So
and our design team immediately raced to put some things together.
Exactly. So we do have a couple more decks.
Of course.
We have fugitive decks for the Joker and Harley Quinn, so that you can play them as well in fugitive mode, because like we couldn't leave the Joker out of Arkham, and we couldn't leave Harley. She worked there. She's been locked up in there. It's in her blood. quite literally. So yeah, with this you can team up the Joker and Harley Quinn as asked earlier in the live stream, and you can team up Harley Quinn with Poison Ivy, as it's even shown on the card. It has specific mechanics for being together, all those pairings. It's a complicated relationship, all these guys. They're crazy, they're weird, and they're here. And that's a lot.
It looks like, thank you all for the comments. This has been, I think, my favorite live stream so far. Thank you for staying late. We are officially way over, and we have one more slide to show, I think.
Oh yeah, just to
bask and show how cool it can look when Thiago paints these for me.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is colorful. This is nice. This is scrumptious.
Look at Man-Bat.
I think while we gawk at that, I just talk about the one thing I really like about the Joker Fugitive deck. I think it's a very nice twist that the design team added there, is the fact that during setup, the Joker player can choose between two bottom of the deck cards, either my last laugh or our last laugh. And the thing is, basically, you can choose to be selfish or a bit more altruistic before the game starts. And this, when the game, and no one knows which one you chose, because when the game is nearing the end, depending on what you chose, you can have something that will help everybody. Like it will make it easier for you to win, but you all have to win together. Or you can just bolt alone and leave everybody behind. And as long as you get out, you win alone, and with anybody else who makes it out. So you can kind of backstab all the other villains if you choose that, but that's a choice that you make before anybody can even know what's going to happen.
It was something we tried to put in the mode for each and every villain. But the truth is that the engine of United is so cooperative that it was not really working if each and every fugitive was able to escape on its own. So this was the way to leave a little room open for playing that way with just a single fugitive. And of course, it was going to be the Joker because he's the meanest of them all.
And that's about it. And of course, I hear, what about this? Yeah, and that's a lot, guys. That's all we were able to cram and then some into this box. I hope you like it. I freaking love it. Of course, there's always something else that could be done, but there's a line that needs to be drawn somewhere. I went 10 steps beyond that line, and of course, there's always more that could have been done. But I'm very happy about this.
Well, we do get you actually did do more as the weekend goes on, as the rest of Friday goes on. There may be unlocks, more stretch goals. I think there is still quite a bit to look forward to. I love seeing the list that everyone makes about the S tier, A tier, and everything characters as they get to scratch off their favorites. And my hope is over the weekend and then throughout next week, we're able to scratch off even more of those names.
Yeah, we have plenty of things still in store if we can get to them. So I'm really hopeful for our last few days of the campaign. I really hope we can really go out with a big bang. And
call your friends.
Call your friends. And yeah, it's going to be cool. And what else? What else do we need to address? I don't even know.
Well, I think we can certainly go back to other things, but for sure, I wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. We only met just over 20 minutes over. We crammed a lot in today. And please, please, please come back and join us Monday for our final countdown show. When we hit the final 48 hours, this is going to be Monday at noon Eastern time. And we are going to talk about everything that's happened over the weekend. We're going to do a recap of the entire series, and I'm sure there'll be some surprises in there.
Yep, you don't want to miss it. One last live stream next Monday, and then it's off to the races.
That's right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to our backers. Thank you for anyone thinking to back for checking us out today. We love seeing you here. We love your comments and questions. And booth 2446 if you're down in Comic-Con.
See you there.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.